It's 10 o'clock. It's time to get all the kids in bed. It usually takes about an hour before everybody gets settled down and under control. But you awaken from a loud bang. You reach over and you grab the concealed weapon from your top dresser drawer, and you start walking down the hallway. While you're walking down the hallway, you notice a figure in the far right corner of your kitchen. You look down the iron sights, your finger rests steadily on the trigger, and you fire. According to BJS, from 2003 to 2007, there was an estimated 3.7 million household burglaries that occurred each year. Before I load up and fire away, let's go over the main points that I'll be talking about today. The first point I'll be talking about today is the counterproductiveness of gun control, and because they're trying to enforce it so heavily. The second point we'll be talking about today is gun safety and how to be a responsible gun owner. And our final point today is the Second Amendment and how changing gun control will actually affect it. Let's fly over to the windy city of Chicago, full of skyline views and home of the Chicago Cubs. From the outside of Chicago, as we look deeper into Chicago, it's not as plentiful and as beautiful as it is on the inside. Chicago is known for its massive amount of murders and shootings that occur each and every year. In an article written by CNN, or the Chicago Tribune, Chicago ended the year with 762 homicides in 2016, 3,550 shootings incidents, and 4,331 shooting victims. These are record-breaking since 2015, which only had 480 murders. Chicago has had so many mass shootings, and it's ended up as such a war zone that it even has its own nickname of Chirac. Now let's head south to the Sunshine State of Florida. And last year in 2016, it looked a lot different than it did now. A nightclub in Orlando called Pulse Nightclub had a tragic shooting. CNN called this tragic event the deadliest mass shooting in the U.S. and nation's worst terrorist attack since 9/11. A single man entered the nightclub and killed 49 people and injured 53. Instead of trying to enforce such strict gun guidelines in order to acquire a weapon, there could be a simpler alternative. We could stress gun safety, and the NRA came out with 12 golden rules that they had on their website. These are: always keep the gun pointed in a safe direction, always keep your finger off the trigger until ready to shoot, always keep the gun unloaded until ready to use, know your target, know how to use the gun safely, be sure the gun is safe to operate, use only the correct ammunition, wear eye and ear protection as appropriate, never use alcohol, prescription drugs before or while shooting, store guns so they are not accessible to unauthorized persons, additional safety precautions, and cleaning. Now, I just gotta finish it. All right, I'm already so far. Okay. The Second Amendment is the right to bear arms. And it's the Second Amendment, and it falls right after the freedom of speech, religion, and of press. So the Founding Fathers must have thought this amendment was so important that they kept it right after. Now, if the government were to stricten up those rules, we'd end up like the people on the right here. Criminals would still have easily access to guns, and the law-abiding citizens would be left harmless, and then they wouldn't have any form of self-defense. For a recap, We went over counterproductiveness of gun control, gun safety and how to be a responsible gun owner, and the Second Amendment and how gun control would affect it. Now let's go back to that opening scene and disarm the firearms. Think of what that family would have done if they didn't have that concealed weapon. They would have been left harmless and selfless. It would have been a massacre that nobody would have been able to control. Neighbors would wake up to an ad in the paper saying 4 brutally murdered in their home, and they would wonder, what could we do to prevent this? And it's all because the government felt that there should be stricter guidelines on guns. So hopefully, this could help change your mind. Thank you.